Today, I'm going to show you how to use Zigpoll's NPS surveys to measure customer loyalty and uncover actionable insights. This is a tutorial to show you how Zigpoll can capture NPS where your customers already are by launching surveys on your site, in checkout, or even in follow-up emails. Now, if you're a user of Delighted NPS surveys, you've probably heard that they're shutting down by June 2026. So it's time to evaluate alternatives, and we'll show you how Zigpoll can give you more flexibility and how it's cheaper. In this video, we're going to talk about where you can launch Zigpoll surveys, editing questions, follow-up questions, reporting, styling your surveys, integrations, and pricing. Feel free to skip to the section that makes the most sense for you. Now, the very first thing you probably want to do is edit the questions. In this page, every single question has an edit this slide button, and by clicking it, it will take you to the question editor. From there, you can simply type in any changes like so, and click update slide at the top. This will make sure that any changes you make are updated in the survey. And if you want to change the question type, let's say that instead of having a range from 1 to 10, you want this to be a star rating. So by clicking this drop-down menu, you can see all the different options for question types. And under rating and ranking, you can see some of the options here, such as star rating. We also have satisfaction, and we also have rank choice. So you have a lot of options available in order to change your survey questions into the format you think will be most useful for gathering customer feedback. So let's create a new survey, and we're going to select the existing NPS survey template that we have set up. Now, when it comes to where your site visitors or customers can see your survey, you have a couple of options. The most common ones include link only, which means you have a URL, you can send it via SMS or email. You can choose to show it on every page or specific pages on your site. You can choose to show it in post-purchase. And we also have API only for more advanced users. So if you want to show an NPS survey at a specific onboarding stage or milestone in your product, then you can also trigger the NPS surveys to display via API. Once you've decided which option you want to go with, enter a quick name and hit create survey. This will take you to a screen where you can see all your different questions and you can start editing. Something a lot of e-commerce brands and SaaS companies like to do is ask different follow-up questions depending on the score of the NPS survey or the response of the NPS survey. So if someone gives you a 10, you might want to ask a follow-up question asking them to leave a review. If you have a 5, you probably don't want to ask that respondent for a Google review or Trustpilot review. Instead, you probably want to ask for more details. And Zigpoll has the functionality in order to do these sort of follow-up questions. And we call that conditional logic. Let me show you how it works. So when you're in this editor, you can see that we have the logic already set up in the template. And the way it works is that it will look at the value of the response and then send people to the appropriate question that you have set up here. So if we click a number that is less than or equal to 6, it should send somebody over to this question. And let's go test that out right now. So if I click 2, it sends us to that question. If I go back and I click 9, it should send me to another question. So you can see that this is a great way to ask the right question to the right people and tailor your surveys so that you can get the best data from your respondents based on the response and ask the right follow-up questions. If you want to actually edit this, let me show you how to do that. We're going to go back to the editing slide where you can edit the questions. And there's a section down here called logic. What's really important is to make sure that you've already set up the question that you want to send people to. And then it's as simple as setting your condition and setting the response value. If you want to remove certain piece of logic, you can simply delete it like this. If you want to add logic, you can then add it like this and set the condition and add in the value here. After any changes that you've made, do a quick double check of all your conditions. Now you can see here, there's actually a mistake. This condition is not correct, no problem. Let's fix that and update the slide again. So this is how you can set up conditional logic and follow questions in NPS surveys. Now let's talk about how you can style your survey and change the font sizes, the fonts, the colors, and really make sure that the survey reflects your brand. To start, we're going to go back into the main survey overview page, and then we're going to want to head over to design in the left sidebar. Once we're in the left sidebar, you're going to be able to preview what your survey is going to look like, whether that's on site, on a page, in an email, or sent via SMS. For demonstration's sake, I'm going to be editing this survey on the site version and giving you a quick overview of the options you have available. So you can change the background color like so. You can change the font colors. You can change the border colors also. So let's make this a nice sharp blue. Change the buttons. And you can change the fonts inside the buttons. So let's turn this into a beautiful shade of red. I think you'll be a better designer than me, but you can see all the options we do have available. In addition, you can change the fonts, including custom fonts, which have to be loaded on your website already. And if you're on site, you can also change things such as where the survey is going to display and border radius and the border width. So we have a lot of options available for you to really customize the look and feel of your surveys. If you have any specific questions or run into any issues, shoot us a message at support@zigpoll.com and we'll hop on and get you set up properly. The next thing I want to show you is some of the data visualization, summarization, and reporting features that Zigpoll has built into the product. So I already have a NPS example survey that we have set up that has a little bit of live data, and I'm going to walk you through the options available. Very first thing we have is what we call ZGPT Insights. We basically automatically summarize your responses and takeaways so that you don't have to sift through every single answer. You can get a high level overview of the responses and the answers in one place and save a lot of time. Now, if you want some data visualization that is also built into the product, you can just go to a specific question. So this is an NPS question, and you have a couple of visualization options available. So the default is going to be this sort of bar chart here. You can filter it by specific dates. You can download the image if you need to add it to your report. And you can also change to different visualization options. So we have pie charts, a donut chart, and we have the NPS chart, which I think is going to be the most useful for an NPS survey like this. And what this does is that it's going to show you your overall NPS calculated by the official NPS formula. Now, a lot of companies aren't happy with just these visualization features. They want to be able to export the data into their own systems. And of course, Zigpoll has the ability to do that very easily. So within the product, if you head to reports, you pick your survey type and make sure your date is in a date range where there are responses. We can auto generate a report for you with all of the data inside the survey responses, and you can easily export to a CSV and perform any other analysis you need. we also have a reporting API. So if you're a little bit more sophisticated, you can pull this API and pull the data into your data warehouse of choice for further analysis. And it will also come with all the important metadata, such as language. You can include emails. You can also go and get even more information about the participant, including, say, device, zip code, IP address. With all this information, you should have everything you need. And if you're missing anything, let us know and we'll make sure we can add it in. Zigpoll has integrations into the most important platforms for any e-commerce brand and SaaS company. And those include email platforms such as Klaviyo, these include Slack, and these include any other workflow builders such as Zapier, Make.com, and other similar ones. I'm not going to walk you through every single integration, but I will show you where to find them and where to find any instructions you need to help set each one up. So you want to head into the sidebar on the left. You want to hit integrations and you can search your integration of choice. By clicking into that integration, every integration has a help doc article. You can hover over the information button, click here, and you'll be able to go to the relevant help doc article. Once again, we do have a reporting API, and what that lets you do is you can hit our API and it will return all the survey responses you need. And that's super useful if you want to send data into your own data warehouse solution or into a workflow builder like Zapier. All of this is included with all plans. We don't charge more if you need to integrate to one service or two services. So every plan comes with the ability to pull our API, comes with the ability to connect to as many services as you want. And if we're missing any services that you would like to be integrated into, just shoot us an email or fill in this form over here and you can request that integration and it will be put onto the roadmap. Let's talk about Zigpoll pricing. Zigpoll, in our opinion, has some of the cheapest pricing onto the market. And the reason why it can afford such a cheap pricing is that it's actually run by a solo founder, Jason. And he's the one who does all the customer support. He's the one that develops all the features. And because he's not paying a bunch of team members, he can actually afford to have the cheapest pricing on the market. So it's super generous. The free plan comes with 100 responses every month, and it basically scales based on how many responses you are accepting. And by the time you hit the pro plan, you get unlimited responses. Keep in mind, you can run like unlimited survey types, unlimited survey questions. So you don't have to just run NPS surveys. In fact, most customers actually use Zigpoll to run post-purchase surveys, exit intent, and other on-site surveys such as pop-ups or surveys on the product page. You get that all included in this one price. On top of that, other survey providers charge for integrations. They charge by like how many team members that you can have on your plan. You can have unlimited team members. You can have unlimited integrations. You have API access right from the free plan. And on top of that, with this pricing, it actually drops down even further if you decide to go annually. So everything gets slashed in half by 50% and makes it incredibly affordable. So with Delighted being sunset, they're trying to move everyone over to Qualtrics, and Qualtrics is naturally a very expensive solution. In fact, if you go to the pricing page, it's so expensive that they don't actually show you how much it costs. You're going to have to talk to a salesperson to find out how much that costs. And even if we were just to compare the pricing of Zigpoll to Delighted, Zigpoll is quite favorable. So now we're on the Delighted pricing page, and you can see that Zigpoll offers a much better deal than Delighted at all pricing tiers. Keep in mind, their starter plan is $20 a month, and they're only giving you 50 responses. In comparison, Zigpoll's free plan gives you 100 responses a month, unlimited users, unlimited survey types. Now, let's say you're doing a little bit more scale than 50 responses a month. Let's say you're doing more than 500 responses a month, which is very reasonable for many brands and SaaS companies. You will actually have to contact them for custom pricing, which will be more expensive than $250 a month. Keep in mind, for Zigpoll, if you pay on an annual plan $100 a month, you will get unlimited responses, and that is so much better value than paying $250 a month. So you can see that we have the same functionality, we have better value, better pricing. And if you need any support or help migrating your data and your questions away from Delighted into Zigpoll, send us an email at support@zigpoll.com. We'll be happy to give you a demo, support you through this migration process, and answer any other questions you have. Thanks for watching this video, and let us know if you have any questions.